Steve, start of January, just past the halfway point of the season, going into 2015, we're top of the table. As you look at where we are and where we're going, what's your reflections on the season to date?
Yeah, I think it's been a great start for us. Obviously, we've had one or two blips along the way, in particular last weekend, but apart from that, I feel that there hasn't been much disappointment. It's been a lot of positivity around us. I feel we've got a lot of young boys through. We've played a lot of rugby. We've been a little bit unfortunate with a couple of injuries in certain areas where maybe we'd like to have changed a couple of things, keep the boys a couple bit fresher, but ultimately delighted with start and winning 9 out of 12 games. I think is a real positive for us, and I know we got a massive game against the Dragons, and if we can get a win there to take us into Europe, I think it'll be a real outstanding sort of halfway point of the season for us.
You talk about the injury list. At times it's been frightening to look at -4 tight heads, 4 number 8s. How as a coach do you deal with that kind of challenge?
I think it's part of sport, but also it gives someone else an opportunity, and we've got trust in some of the guys coming through, and probably you've got to ask them to do a little bit too much. You've got to keep them going, but it's like you've got people like Mark Thomas, Gareth Thomas, who only benefited from it, and we feel now we're stronger with our depth, so that's a real positive. We knew they were good players, but it's something probably like Mark now playing 5 on a bounce. It's emotionally really tough for him, in fairness, and physically, so he's been terrific. But yeah, we found out more about Tyler as a number 8 and things, and it creates more competition in our squad and a little bit more depth, which is only positive for us going forward.
Where we are at this moment in time, would you agree with perhaps some comments that we are overachieving at this moment, or is it where you expect us to be?
I probably would have said we'd be top of the league, but I think we were confident in our own ability and what we were, and I know a lot was spoken about in writing us off at the start of the season. There's still a long way to go for us, but I think we probably maybe slightly overachieving in a lot we've done, but I think that's been probably a little bit disrespectful. The boys coming through, we know what they were, but I think it's something now that's sitting up and realise what a good crop of young guys we've got to go, and we've got to keep developing. We can't rest on our laurels. We've got to be pushing the standards of everything we do forward.
The Dragons this weekend, it's another Welsh derby, another tough challenge for the boys, especially the ones who were playing all the way through, as you said, because of injuries. How do you lift the boys for Sunday off the back of disappointment last weekend?
Yeah, we give the boys a little bit more time off this week. I think they needed that recharge, and like you go off the back of Metro back to back into Ulster home, Scarlets back to back. It's a big period for us. We're giving the boys a little bit of time off. We've made a couple of changes. Some boys will come in and have an opportunity to freshen the team up, but there's been a real focus in around the week so far. It's been more intense than ours over the last couple of weeks. I think that extra couple of days off has really benefited them, but there's a real focus going to the Dragons, because we know, in fairness, they've improved game on game throughout the season. You see the team coming through. There's a lot of good players in around it. They understand how they want to play, and they're off the back of a few good results. So yeah, we know it's going to be a real test for us, but our home record's been pretty good, and it's something that we don't become a sort of bad team overnight. It's something that we've got to perform and worry about what we're going to bring to that game come Sunday.
I think a key message really at this point of the season is we might be top of the table, but it's only January. No medals are handed out for another 4 months. No,
definitely not. It's something that we've got a real focus, and in particular the Dragons, we're not thinking of any further than that at this minute in time. We need to get back on into winning ways, and we know it's going to be a tough, niggly affair around the Dragons. So it's something that we need to get the points in the bank, and ultimately before that we've got to get our performance right. And I think if we look after the performance first, we'll get what we need out of the game.
I know you don't like looking too far ahead, but you have to look at the home games in the Pro 12 that follow on from the Dragons game, and we've got the other 3 teams who are currently in the top 4 still to come. It's an exciting period. It's going to be a challenging time as well.
Yeah, it's going to be really challenging, but like I say, if we can get another victory on the weekend, I think our points total is pretty decent from the state of the season. And like you say, we've got 2 of the Scottish teams away, and then we've got the two Irish teams that come home, and our record at home so far has been spot on, so we need to be knocking teams like that over if we want to continue our push at the top of the table.
Disregarding whatever happens this season now, we know the challenges we've had over the last 2 years. We know we've got a young group, that's developing. How excited are you about what the future of the Ospreys could be?
Oh, really excited. It's just keeping them all together and bringing a large group of young players through. It's been exciting, and I think it's important now. Our competition and our squad depth is getting a little bit bigger. which is great, and it is exciting times for us. It ain't going to be overnight, like we said. We knew, like the start of the season when we won 7 on the bounce, we're nowhere near the finished article. But there's senior players like you've got Arlen Wynn, Lydia, Tips, Biggs, who rub off on the young group coming through. So it's something that I think we're in a real good place, but we can't rest on our laurels. We've got to keep pushing on. We've got to keep driving our standards on and off the field higher and demand more of ourselves.
And as well as the young players coming through, we've got the likes of Paul James coming back next season, potential recruitment elsewhere to help give that depth that you're talking about. You know, if I was an Ospreys fan, I'd be pretty excited for next season myself.
Yeah, it's exciting for us as coaches, but it's like we've got to get make sure we finish off this season where we want to finish, and it's important. We want to get the European places sorted out, then we push on the top 4. So it's something that we've got to concentrate on performance. We've got to concentrate on our training weeks. We can't rest up, think we're a great team, because we're not. We need to be pushing the standards in around training every week and making sure we worry about our own performance, and then I think the culture within our group will grow and we'll hopefully get to where we want to go.